Good evening, Tallahassee, and welcome to FSU Weather Friday edition. I know we haven't had a show the past 2 days, but we're back and ready to go to give you your last forecast of the week. It's currently 87 degrees and some clouds sitting over Doak Campbell Stadium as that sunset starts to come through. Our current temperature is 82 in Tallahassee, 77 in Perry, and 78 in Apalachicola, so we're starting to see those cooler temperatures that everyone's been looking forward to for this time of year. Our muggy meter, our humidity is still not the greatest right now. Tallahassee is looking pretty muggy with oppressive humidity right now. Down in Miami, it's actually a little bit better, but just very humid, but still humid. Tonight, we're looking at temperatures in the 70s once again, seeing those cooler temperatures for the coming week. And tonight's headlines: more rain to come with high rain chance the next few days, Tropical Storm Outlook, and continued droughts in the west. All this and more on FSU Weather starting right now.
We are no longer canceled by technology. Great to be back in your homes this evening, streaming live on YouTube. And it's been a pretty wet week for weather. If you've been around the Tallahassee area or pretty much anywhere on the Gulf Coast, you've been experiencing a lot of the remnants of Tropical Storm Nicholas throughout the week, which really hasn't decided to move anywhere, which has just meant a lot of cloudy days with on and off showers, especially here in Tallahassee. Keeping that umbrella handy the past couple of days has definitely been a big deal, and we also will be needing to keep that umbrella a couple more days around. So we are really also seeing some developments in the tropics. Tropical Storm Outlook just developed as a 5 p.m. advisory, and that is staying out to sea, but there are more interests that we do have to look out for in the tropics. Whether or not they come our way, you'll have to find out. Stick with us throughout the show. Right now, we're going to head to Chandler at the Wall for our first local forecast.
That is right. So starting off, we're going to look at our current temperatures for today. Today we had a high of 85 degrees and a low of 72, so quite around average, actually a little bit below average. Nowhere near the 100-degree record that we set just 2 years ago. And we aren't anywhere near the record low that we had back in 2001, the year that I was born. Let's go. A live look at Doak Campbell. You can see the stadium off in the distance and the clouds that are around the sun. Currently 87 degrees, and yes, a little bit cloudy, although the sun is peeking out, really making things a little toasty and humid. Winds are coming out of the south-southwest at 5 miles per hour. And looking at the current radar, we can see some rain to our south, but it is sticking really close to the coastline, mainly places along like East Point. You guys are really the only ones that are looking at much moisture out in the west. Looking at our eastern part of our region, we have a little bit of rain north of Cross City, but again, things are starting to die down a little bit as the sun begins to set. Looking at the current local temperatures, 78 in Apalachicola, 82 in Tallahassee. So again, we're in the 80s, a little bit of 70s if you're under some of that rainy weather. And looking at those wind speeds, we have some differing winds. We have 5 miles per hour coming out of the northwest for Donaldsonville, but then 3 miles per hour for Tallahassee. So mostly just calm overall. Looking at those dew points, though, that is, woo, that's steep. Holy moly. 78 in Apalachicola. The lowest we get is 73 in Thomasville. And that's just muggy right there. Whenever you're above 70, that is very tropical dew points. That is just whenever the air is so thick, it's air that you can wear. Looking at the future radar, you can see some of the showers die off as we go throughout the night, but then they will reemerge come the morning time and throughout the day around 1 p.m., 2 p.m. We see some showers really start to develop, especially north of our viewing area. Looking at tonight's lows, we have 70s across most of the area. That's because the clouds stick around, acting like a blanket, keeping us at a normal temperature. So again, you can expect 72 degrees as our low for tonight, cloudy, and winds that are pretty calm. Nothing too surprising. Beach forecast, 80 degrees at Panama City Beach with waters around 74, so quite an enjoyable day, except for that little rainy icon, that indicates that we have a lot of disturbance in the atmosphere for tomorrow. And it's really just going to roll through for the next few days. Actually, looking at the week ahead, you see that there's just going to be rain showers, potential rain showers for the Big Bend region from Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, even into Tuesday and Wednesday. Then we start to taper off once we get to Thursday and Friday. But overall, it's going to be a pretty rainy pattern. 80s for the highs and then lows in the 70s. But now I'm going to toss things off to Melissa.
Thanks, Chandler. So we have a lot of rainfall coming in for the next few days, and that's because of that tropical storm, the sea tropical storm that came through and brought a lot of rainfall and is currently sitting over and dumping a lot of rain. Currently in Gainesville, you see those cloudy skies, and showers are persisting across much of the southeast right now. For our radar, you can see Tropical Storm Nicholas that has fallen apart and is throwing all that rainfall into Florida and into the lower southern states. So that's going to continue over the next few days. It's definitely something you're going to want to look out for. Daytona Beach right now, not a great deep beach day over there, with a lot of rainfall coming in and kind of just sitting over them right now. So if you plan on going to watch the sunset, you may want to wait till the weather clears up a bit. As for our current temperatures, 85 in Tallahassee, 84 in Tampa, 91 in Miami. So we're still seeing those warm temperatures that we would see in summer, but they are starting to cool off. 80 degrees is up north, and that's looking a lot better than it was this summer with heat indexes of over 100. Our wind speed, there's a slight breeze coming through. Some stronger breezes over to the west where that storm is falling apart, bringing in higher wind speeds. Our dew points are still pretty awful for this time of year. 75 in Tallahassee, 74 in Tampa, and 74 in Miami. Not real comfortable. If you go outside, your hair is probably going to frizz out. I know mine did. Had it in a braid before the show to keep it looking nice. So definitely something to look out for. Our water vapor, you see once again that storm that has fallen apart, leaving a lot of water vapor up here, but that dry air right behind it. As we'll see later on, there is a cold front coming towards us, and those dew points will begin to drop. Our future radar see those storms continuing to move through the southeast, not lightening up anytime soon, with continuing cloud cover and rain for the next few days. Not going to be the greatest time to plan anything, to go out and do anything. Just make sure you're paying attention to that and you know what to expect for over the next few days. As for tonight's lows, 72 in Tallahassee. So once again, we're seeing those temperatures come down quite a bit from what we have seen the past few weeks. Down in Miami, 76, once again, cooler temperatures, and getting even colder up north with lows in the low 70s, 73 in Tupelo, 72 in Jackson, 76 in New Orleans. Definitely seeing those cooler temperatures. But tomorrow it's going to warm up again, back into the 80s, like nobody wants right now. Not quite our fall temperatures just yet. Montgomery, 80 degrees, Tallahassee, 85, and Tampa, 84. Now I may be warming back up to 91, and Orlando is sitting at 90. So we're still seeing those warm temperatures, but hopefully they'll start dropping after that cold front moves through. Now we're going to take a closer look at Florida with Riley.
Yeah, well, the temperatures aren't the only big story across the Sunshine State right now. We have a lot of cloud cover and wet weather as well. Just looking over Panama City Beach this evening, we do see that sun peek out a little bit, which is some good news, but it's not the best beach day. You might have to bring in that umbrella, head off the beach quick for some of these passing storms and showers that we are seeing come by. We actually have a flash flood watch for pretty much the western half of the Florida Panhandle. That includes you guys there in Panama City Beach out towards Pensacola. And this is all associated with what is the remnants of Tropical Storm Nicholas, which hit on Monday, but the weather features are still in the area, bringing some spotty showers and storms even to the Florida Peninsula. We have a lot of that rain off of the western Florida coast right now. Some of that is moving towards the eastern coast, really filling in on the radar around Daytona Beach as you head down I-95 this evening. And that makes it all the way down into South Florida, where we have some showers and storms, more right now to the west and the north of Miami. Immediately in Miami right now, just getting some cloud cover. So we're not seeing the rain right now, but that rain chance and the threat is there as we head throughout the night. Current temperatures Looks like we do not have the data for this, folks, but the colors are still there showing across the state. We're around that upper 70 to low 80 mark across the majority of the state. And one thing it is right now is very humid and warm outside, which makes it feel very muggy. A lot of, oppressive sticking your tongue out facial features on this map right now. So I guess if you stick out your tongue, you're not having a good time. It depends on this. It depends on the circumstance, I would say. But, in this case, we're going to go with no. Future radar, though, we do see those spotty showers and storms persist across the Florida Peninsula and the Panhandle, pretty much the entirety of the Sunshine State, as we head throughout the day tomorrow into your Sunday. So plan for this weekend to be a wet one where you want to keep that umbrella handy across the Sunshine State. So tonight in Florida, we are seeing temperatures a little bit on the warmer side just because it is so humid, so we'll retain a lot of that daytime heating we saw earlier today. 74 out in Pensacola, even 81 degrees in Key West. So Key West is somewhere that we're going to be seeing temperatures even stay in the low 80s, which is very warm, and that just shows how much cloud cover we have in the area, which really does act as a blanket, retaining that warm weather we see during the daytime. Into the day tomorrow, we'll get a little bit cooler, Chandler, but temperatures will be in the 90s in places like Orlando. So still a very warm and wet day tomorrow.
That is right. And, well, we're going to take a look at the national real quick. And a good thing to note, across the whole entire continent, we have cold fronts stretching from the southern Rockies up to the Great Lakes, really just going to provide a potential bit of relief come next week. But right now, we're talking all about the moisture in the southeast and maybe a little bit of moisture up in Portland and Vancouver, but not where we need to see it out west. We really need to see it around Utah and Nevada, but we'll get into that here in a little bit. Currently looking a little closer at the west, you can see some of that rain in the northwest. We have a little bit of rain in Las Vegas, so that is good. That is good for some drought relief. And we're seeing some of that monsoonal moisture going throughout the state of Arizona. Believe it or not, yes, the desert out here in the southwest does have monsoons. We usually associate that with Asia, but we do have monsoonal rains as well. And taking a look at the northeast, well, we can see some of these clouds. This is a feature called Odette. She is a tropical storm off the coast of the northeast and mid-Atlantic, but no, she's not providing much in terms of moisture. Really, the moisture here in the mid-Atlantic is south of Washington, D.C., trying to make its way a little bit north, but failing to do so. Looking at the central part of the United States, really not seeing too terribly much. A few spotty showers in Kansas, but that's not too big of a story. Looking at the big picture, though, you can see that cold front really does make a difference in temperatures. 69 in Denver, but look at Kansas City, 87. Not that great, in my opinion, but if you're a summer lover, I guess you do love that. Looking at the west, well, they have a mixed bag of almost anything and everything. Of course, that's because of the mountains and the crazy terrain. Looking at the east, a lot of 70s and 80s. Over the next 8 to 14 days, we can expect some above average temperatures, in Minnesota and Wisconsin, and potentially stretching into parts of the southeast as well. So we can expect to see some more of that warm weather really sticking around. However, once you look out west, you can see that it will be a little bit on the cooler side in California, Oregon, and Washington. So that's a great sign for them. But looking at the dew points, dry, very dry. So cold and dry for the west with 37-degree dew points. That's very dry. That makes you want to put on chapstick, as Riley loves to say on this show. Looking at the southeast, though, sticking out like a green thumb, again, is Florida. Again, just a lot of warm, moist air just surging from the Gulf and the Atlantic all along the eastern seaboard. And looking at the drought monitor, it is quite dry, not just in the air, but also on the ground here in California, Nevada, and in parts of Utah. So really a dangerous situation for them. Hopefully they can see some relief in the next few months. Looking at future radar, well, we do see some of this rain here. It probably won't make its way to Utah, but at least it will provide some rain for California and Oregon, giving them a little bit of that drought relief. Looking at some of the pop-up showers, in the southeast, again, just associated with that Gulf moisture. And for tonight's lows, well, we can expect a mixed bag of almost anything and everything, but I would love to point out the fact that fall is coming. 48 degrees in Minneapolis, and 60 in Los Angeles. So a mixed bag throughout the whole entire United States. And we're looking at 70s in parts of the east for tomorrow's highs. And now I'm going to toss things off to to Melissa to take a look at sports.
Thanks, Chandler. We have a lot of game days going on this weekend. Both women's soccer and football are going on this weekend, one at home and one away. So we're going to take a look at that in just a second. For your college town forecast tonight, we're looking at some pretty cool temperatures compared to what we normally have. We're going to be looking at 72-degree temperatures and cloudy skies. So we'll be having nice weather for tonight for our date night forecast. So if you want your date out, just make sure you bring an umbrella. So if you get stuck outside, you're not going to be completely drenched by the rain. As for our football on Saturday, that is away at Wake Forest, and it's going to be a great game. Hopefully those Seminoles can pull off a win. 3 p.m., 84 degrees, 5 p.m. at halftime, 84 degrees, and 7 p.m., 80 degrees, with hopefully clear but partially cloudy skies. Future radar showing a few clouds and rain coming through. And if we move on to our girls soccer, we have it here home at FSU, and we'll be seeing some pretty nice temperatures as well. 79 degrees and 78 degrees, and looking at some showers possible, so make sure you're keeping an eye out for that. But for now, we're going to pass things off and continue on with a look at our next segment.
All right, thank you, Melissa. We were on the right page there. Temperature almanac for today. We did hit 85 degrees, a little bit below our average of 89, where we usually are around this time of year, but we did have a lot more humidity and cloud cover that helps keep the temperatures down a little bit today. Nowhere near that 100 triple-digit heat that we saw in 2019. But over Joe Campbell Stadium right now, that sun is peeking out. So we are actually at 87 now, which is a little bit warmer than what we had as our high temperature today. So we'll probably have to go back, fix the almanac in the books there. Sun is about to set though, and we are going to retain a lot of that heat that we did see earlier today. Current radar across the region. We have those showers and storms right over East Point right now. Not a great day to be visiting Apalachicola, but if you head to Panama City Beach right now, you might get in a little bit on the last moments of sun before we do see the nighttime arrive. And Tallahassee, not seeing the rain right now. We just saw that on our look over Joe Campbell Stadium. The showers are in the area, but they are not right on top of us right now. But we are still feeling that humidity across the region today as it is very muggy outside. So even if you're not feeling the rainfall, you are definitely feeling that water in the air. Today's hour by hour, we woke up around 74 degrees, 75. That's one of the best temperatures you could possibly experience, in my opinion, unless you're trying to go to the pool. You might want it to be a little bit more like 82 degrees. So if you did try to get to the pool today, you know, the mid-afternoon hours still would have been fine, except for the rain and cloud cover, of course, if you wanted to get that tan on. But we are seeing the temperatures at least warm enough for something like that. Not picking up any rain on the map right now for most of these cities. We do have those showers in the area though, so you do want to be prepared for a sprinkle here or there. And the winds are also bringing in that warm, moist air from the south. As I said, it's very muggy outside, and it's going to stay muggy throughout the night, keeping those temperatures in the low 70s. Storms will be in the area. Into tonight, 72 degrees, cloudy conditions. Heading to the beach tomorrow, I wouldn't do it. Too many storms in the area. And heading into the weekend and early parts of next week, we do have the rain that will be persisting, so keep that umbrella handy. There is signs that we'll get a cold front to bring some cooler and drier temperatures for the end of next week. Chandler?
Yeah, so now we're going to take things to the tropics. Speaking of rain, it's always rain when it comes to the tropics. That's actually one of the biggest threats to any storm system that you should keep in mind, even if it is not that strong. But let's go ahead. Let's look at tracking the tropics. Let's look at this name list. So we have burned through the first half of the names, and we're even burning through even more of the names, actually. We're to Odette right now, which is French. We share with French and the Spanish when it comes to picking the names each year. We just got finished with Nicholas. That's what was providing some of this moisture throughout this week. It's really just surging the moisture from the Gulf, but yes, it is disorganized. No, it is not really Nicholas anymore. Looking at Odette on the satellite, you can see pretty decently lopsided. It actually has a lot of convection really stretching from south to north, all the way from basically, if you drew a line from South Carolina to Massachusetts, that's how far she stretches, but very low convection here in the southwestern part of the storm, which that probably has to do with some of the dry air, which we'll look at here in a second. Looking at the projected path, well, it's a very short-lived storm, that's for sure. It is projected to, by Sunday, be a post-tropical storm, which means it loses its tropical characteristics and becomes a cold core storm. And yes, it can still provide a lot of strong winds, but no, it will not be a tropical storm. It will be a post-tropical storm. Looking at the Sbc Storm Outlook, we see that there is a little bit of stuff going on in the Atlantic and a little bit of stuff going on also in the Northeast, with potential for seeing some non-severe thunderstorms. And taking a look at that water vapor, this is what I was talking about. There is a dry slot here just south of Odette's center of circulation, and that has to do with why it is an lopsided one blob storm. Looking at the sea surface temperatures, well, the reason why Odette is going to make its post-tropical transition is because it won't have any more of that warm water. That warm water really stops once you get past North Carolina. And we can see that there's some really warm water south of Miami and in the Gulf as well. Looking at the 5-day development, we can see that there is another system that could provide a danger to the Caribbean and maybe even to us. Got to take a look, make sure we even know for sure it is developing, but right now it has 80% chance over the next 5 days. And then we have another system as well that is providing potential for 30% chance of development, but we'll have to just keep an eye on that. But for now, we'll go to Riley to look at the weekend forecast.
Well, at least in the short term, this weekend we're not expecting any tropical systems here in the immediate Tallahassee area. Right now, Doak Campbell Stadium, again, having that sunset that we are preparing for. Hopefully we'll be able to see some of that and cloud cover doesn't build in. But as we head into later tonight, those clouds likely will build into the area. If you're going on a date, 72 degrees, you can try outside, but I wouldn't want to be at fault for sitting outside and eating and then causing the date to get ruined by some rain. Dog walk forecast for our day tomorrow. Earlier in the morning is the best time to do it. We'll start to see those showers build in around that noontime hour, and the temperatures will also go up and make things a little bit more uncomfortable for you and your furry friends. But soccer is being played here at FSU tomorrow at 6 p.m., and we do have the chance for some scattered thunderstorms in the area. And temperatures will be around the upper 70s, even 78 degrees there as we head into 8 p.m., but the chance for storms will persist. And here we see the storms kind of clear out overnight, but then we see them fire back up again as we head into the day tomorrow, especially the early to mid-afternoon hours. So do have that umbrella handy if you need be. Saturday is another FSU football game tomorrow, but this one is away. Drier conditions up there in Wake Forest. Temperatures, though, will be in the mid-80s to low 80s by the end of the game, so we do have a lot of rain on the way for us, but not for the game, luckily. Over the next 3 days, there is the chance for rain for all of them, so we do want to make sure we're keeping that umbrella handy this weekend, Melissa.
We're not looking at that rain to stop anytime soon, which is really disappointing for some of us that were hoping to enjoy this weekend and take a break from school for the next 2 days. It's currently 85 degrees and 72 is our low for today, sitting below our average and way below our record, thankfully. 100 degrees, I don't think I want that for this time of year. Definitely not very enjoyable. Our live look at Doak, you can see those clouds coming in and that sun is beginning to set. Currently 87 degrees right now and a bit cloudy, with a little bit of a breeze coming through, but shaping up to be a decent evening if we can manage to avoid those showers. It's Speaking of showers, see off to the west, there is a flood watch for much of the panhandle over Panama City right now. So definitely need to be looking out. If you see floodwaters, make sure you're not driving through them. It's very dangerous to drive through those floodwaters. Turn around, don't drown. You don't want to get stuck in the middle of the floodwaters and have to be rescued. Even though this radar is cutting in and out, you can see those storms are managing to still make their way into the land. So it is something to look out for tonight. 82 degrees in Tallahassee right now and 78 in Apalachicola. So we're seeing those temperatures beginning to drop from what they were today. Thankfully, it's getting a little cooler out. Dew points not making it any better, though. 75 in Tallahassee, 76 in Sumatra, and 78 in Apalachicola. So we're still getting that oppressive humidity that's not making it comfortable for this time of year. I know my fellow girls, we put our hair up when we go outside or it's going to frizz out and we're going to look like we have afros, but it's fine. Wind speeds, a little bit of a breeze coming through Tallahassee to help with that heat. Some areas not getting any breeze. That heavy, moist air is just sitting on top of them right now. Tonight's low 73 in Tallahassee and 73 in Apalachicola, so those temperatures will be dropping and making it a comfortable night. Tonight in Tallahassee, 72 degrees and cloudy. We will see some showers coming through, but if you're planning on going out tonight, you may manage to avoid them. Just make sure you're checking the radar to see what's coming and what to look out for. Saturday, 80% chance of rain, Sunday 80, and Monday 80 as well before it finally starts to drop down. So we're definitely going to have to look out for those rain showers for you're not going to get soaked. I know we're going to our lake cleanup tomorrow with AMS. We might get rained on, so just make sure you have a raincoat or an umbrella. As for temperatures, still seeing highs in the 80s for the next week with lows in the 70s and maybe the 60s one night. But hopefully that'll start dropping once that cold front comes through and we can actually start to enjoy our traditional fall temperatures before we get into winter. That's all we have for you now. I'm going to turn things over to Chandler for the desk.
That is right. So yeah, we had a pretty busy show talking mostly about the rain, and Melissa hinted at it. It's definitely a big situation whenever you start seeing the floodwaters really puddling onto the roads. And it's always a good phrase to keep in mind, turn around, don't drown. If you see something that looks like a puddle on the road, you don't know how deep it is. There could be a potential that the road actually washed out underneath it and you could be driving right into a hole that might be as deep as your car is long. You just don't know, so just don't try it. Also, of course, these storms can have a little bit of lightning, but follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSU weather. And like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU weather. And also watch us live on YouTube if you aren't already at FSU weather. And we, of course, would appreciate those pictures. So follow us on Instagram and send us those pictures. But yes, again, these storms pack a punch with some lightning. So, of course, keep that in mind as you go out tomorrow or any other time throughout the next few days, because you never know. You could hear some lightning. If that's the case, go indoors. Don't go underneath a tree. But that's all that we have for you. And please have a great rest of your night. And stay tuned on Monday for our next show.